Today our topic is the power of negative visualization. Imagine for a moment that you wake up tomorrow and everything you love is gone. Your job, your relationships, your health, all of it. How would you feel? What would you do? This might sound like a dark exercise, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools we have to appreciate what we have and prepare for life's challenges. This practice is called negative visualization, and it comes from Stoic philosophy. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, believed that by imagining the worst-case scenarios, we can become stronger, more grateful, and more resilient. Let me explain how this works and why it can change your life. Negative visualization is not about being pessimistic or dwelling on sadness. It's about preparing your mind for the uncertainties of life. Life is unpredictable. No matter how much we plan, things can go wrong. People we love can leave us, jobs can disappear, health can fail. These are hard truths, but they are truths nonetheless. By imagining these possibilities, we don't make them happen. Instead, we train ourselves to face them with courage if they do. The Stoics call this premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. It's like a mental rehearsal for life's difficulties. When you practice negative visualization, you're not inviting bad things to happen. You're building mental strength so you can handle them if they do. Let's take an example. Think about your job. You might feel stressed about deadlines, your boss, or your workload. Now, imagine you lost that job tomorrow. How would you feel? At first, you might feel panic or sadness. But then, think about what you would do next. You would update your resume, start networking, maybe learn new skills. You'd adapt. By imagining this scenario, you realize that even if the worst happens, you can survive. You might even find a better opportunity. This exercise doesn't just prepare you for hardship, it also helps you appreciate your job more. You start to see the good things about it that you might have taken for granted: the paycheck, the colleagues, the sense of purpose. The same principle applies to relationships. Imagine losing someone you love. It's painful to think about, but it reminds you how precious that person is. When you visualize their absence, you start to appreciate their presence more. You might call them more often, listen more carefully, or express your love more openly. Negative visualization helps you live with gratitude. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. Instead of complaining about small problems, you start to see the bigger picture. You realize how much you've been given and how much you stand to lose. This awareness makes you more present, more mindful, and more joyful. Health is another area where negative visualization can be powerful. Many of us take our health for granted until something goes wrong. But what if you woke up tomorrow and couldn't walk, or see, or do the things you love? It's a scary thought, but it can motivate you to take better care of yourself. You might start eating healthier, exercising more, or going to the doctor for regular checkups. Negative visualization isn't just about preparing for the worst. It's about inspiring positive action in the present. When you imagine losing something, you're more likely to protect it. Now, you might be wondering, isn't this just worrying? Isn't it bad to think about negative things? The key difference is control. Worrying is when your mind spins out of control, imagining all the bad things that could happen without any plan or purpose. Negative visualization, on the other hand, is a deliberate practice. You choose to imagine specific scenarios, and you focus on how you would respond. It's not about fear. It's about empowerment. You're not trying to avoid pain. You're preparing to face it with strength and clarity. The Stoics believed that the only thing we truly control is our mind. Everything else, our possessions, our relationships, even our bodies, can be taken away. But no one can take away our ability to think, to choose, to respond. Negative visualization helps us exercise this power. By imagining the worst, we remind ourselves that we are not defined by external things. We are defined by how we handle what life throws at us. This is the essence of resilience. Let me give you another example. Imagine you're going on a trip. You've packed your bags, booked your tickets, and planned your itinerary. But what if your flight gets canceled? What if your luggage gets lost? What if the weather ruins your plans? If you've practiced negative visualization, you've already thought about these possibilities. You've packed essential items in your carry-on. You've saved important numbers on your phone, and you've mentally prepared to adapt. When things go wrong, you don't panic. You stay calm and focused. This is the power of preparation. Negative visualization also helps us deal with fear. Many of us are afraid of failure, rejection, or embarrassment. But when we imagine these things happening, they lose their power over us. For example, imagine you're afraid of public speaking. Now, imagine the worst-case scenario. You forget your words. People laugh, and you feel humiliated. What would you do? You'd probably survive. You'd learn from the experience and try again. By visualizing this, you realize that even the worst outcome isn't the end of the world. This realization reduces your fear and gives you the confidence to take risks. One of the most important benefits of negative visualization is that it helps us let go of attachment. We often cling to thin-sour possessions, our status, our identities as if they define us. But when we imagine losing them, we see that we are more than what we have. We are more than our job titles, our bank accounts, or our social media profiles. We are human beings with the capacity to think, feel, and grow. This perspective frees us from the fear of loss. We start to live more lightly, more authentically. Of course, negative visualization is not a magic solution. It doesn't make life's challenges disappear, but it does make them easier to face. It gives us a sense of control in a world that often feels out of control. It reminds us that we are stronger than we think, and that we have the resources to handle whatever comes our way. So, how can you start practicing negative visualization? It's simple. Take a few minutes each day to imagine the worst-case scenarios in different areas of your life. Imagine losing your job, your relationships, your health. Imagine failing at something important to you. Then, think about how you would respond. What steps would you take? What resources would you use? How would you adapt? By doing this regularly, you will build mental strength and resilience. You'll also cultivate gratitude for what you have. Remember, the goal is not to dwell on negativity, but to prepare for it. The Stoics believe that by facing our fears, we can overcome them. By imagining the worst, we can appreciate the best. And by accepting the impermanence of life, we can live more fully in the present. This is the power of negative visualization. It's not about expecting the worst, it's about being ready for anything. And when you're ready for anything, you can face life with courage, gratitude, and peace. So, the next time you feel stressed or anxious, try this exercise. Close your eyes and imagine the worst-case scenario. Then, ask yourself, what would I do if this happened? You might be surprised by how strong and resourceful you are. And you might find that the things you fear aren't as scary as you thought. Life is full of uncertainties, but with the power of negative visualization, you can face them with confidence and grace. This is the wisdom of the Stoics, and it's a tool that can help you live a richer, more meaningful life.